Okay, let's get started. In this afternoon session, we're going to be having Miss Iris Reyes. She is a lecturer here with us at our very institution, Centro Escolar Mexico Junior College, and she will be presenting to us the importance and the different benefits of the entrepreneurship education. Okay, she's currently the head of department of our business entrepreneurship program. At the end of her presentation, we're going to be having 5 minutes questions and answers. So if you have any doubts or any questions you might want to ask, you can do so. It can be in the chat or you can raise your hand, and then we're going to give you a chance for that. I hope you enjoy. Miss Iris, the time is yours.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Here, hoping that you guys had a great lunch and that you enjoyed. And now we're going to proceed with the presentation this afternoon, Fostering Entrepreneurial Development. As Ms. Melissa has outlined, it is a presentation basically focused on entrepreneurship. I am the HOD of the Business Entrepreneurship Department, so I hope you find today's session very informative. And at the end, if you have any questions, I would be more than happy to respond to them. We may now begin. 1 second. Just trying to get the screen on full mode. Okay. Can you confirm that you can see my screen?
Yes, yes, full screen.
Okay. Thank you very much. So hopefully we have more participants join. Maybe the lunch break was a little bit too short. Nevertheless, we can begin. The topic of today, like I mentioned, is fostering entrepreneurial development. We're going to be looking at these pointers as we go through the presentation. First, I will start by giving you a brief rundown of what the Business Entrepreneurship Program is all about at CEMJC. Followed by that, we're going to be talking a little bit about the importance and benefits of entrepreneurship education. Why is entrepreneurship so important for it to be in the curriculum? We're then going to move on into the entrepreneurial resilience in times of adversity. Speaking about what entrepreneurs have had to endure, and I'm going to be sharing with you a report summary that was facilitated to me through Beltrade, whereby they created a survey to find out a little bit about the business impact, employment impact that these entrepreneurs have undergone. Followed by that, in that segment, we will also be talking a little bit about entrepreneurial action and community response amidst the pandemic. Last but not least, I'm going to close off with a section called Nurturing the Entrepreneurial Spirit. So what do I see as the way forward? Okay. So as I said, in the end, if you have any questions, you let me know. First, I want to start off by sharing with you all the logo of the Business Entrepreneurship Department. If you can observe it here to the left, we see the illusion of two heads together, the silhouette. It was filled with the color burgundy, as that represents the color of the Business Entrepreneurship Program. This logo was actually created by our very own students, our business entrepreneurship students, who are engaged in a logo competition. Not only were they successful with the departments and programs logo, but also they were successful in other departments. The shape of the two heads represent partnership, represent merging ideas together and possibly working together. That creates that entrepreneurial bond. In the middle, we can see that these heads are joined by the silhouette of what would be a light bulb. The light bulb representing innovation, ideas, creation. And then, of course, we have the dollar sign glowing right in the middle, which represents money, right? So entrepreneurs definitely want to be profit makers. They are risk takers, and they want to venture and have their own business. In the slogan, we can observe, turn your passion into cash. Many people have made a hobby, and that hobby has become their income stream. So why not? If there's something you love to do, if there's something you have a passion for, why not make it into a profitable business? So along with this, to our right, we can take a look at what CEMJC's mission statement is regarding the Business Entrepreneurship Program. CEMJC's Business Entrepreneurship Department and Program is committed to providing experiential learning opportunities for entrepreneurial students at the tertiary level. We strive to create experiences that inspire, educate, and empower the next generation of entrepreneurs. Furthermore, we will support and recognize the achievements of local entrepreneurs and agencies within Belize as the foundation of a robust economy and nation. In our vision statement, we have to expose our entrepreneurship students to the Belizean network of entrepreneurs and business environment, as well as to become a model of excellence for engaging them in today's innovative world. We also envision more empowered young people creating and developing their own business plan to become financially independent. So this mission and vision was created by my colleague and myself. So we feel and we take a lot of ownership in the creation of this statement. Next, as you can see, can you see the next slide, Miss Melissa?
Yes.
I am not seeing the same thing on my two devices. There it is.
Yeah.
Okay. So as I was saying, next then, I will run down through the professional core subjects under the BE program. Now, these are not all the subjects that are taken by the students, but these are some of the professional core, and I want to make special emphasis on the entrepreneurship courses, as that is what the whole program is about. In the first course, in the first semester, they take a course called Introduction to Entrepreneurship. In this course, the students are taught to become we want them, the main objective is for them to think entrepreneurially, to develop that entrepreneurial mindset. In this semester, we expose them to different examples of Shark Tank videos. We actually get them to do different innovative ideas and to get them to think like entrepreneurs. At the end of the semester, they present their pitch idea to a group of people, which are considered the sharks. And this idea is to be as innovative as possible, to take out that, to start to envision themselves as entrepreneurs. In the second semester, they take a course called Business Entrepreneurship. Here, we're talking about going from the idea to the launch of the business. In this semester, usually we have what is called an event at school that's called as Open Day. Students get the opportunity to actually carry out that pitch idea and prepare a booth that will be presented to the public. This presentation or this project, which is usually catered in the creativity and innovative field, is to highlight the importance of innovation and entrepreneurship. Usually, we get very good feedback. Students are challenged to do very much innovative projects, and the response is usually very good. From primary to secondary schools that visit us and the general public, they're very much delighted with the ideas, with the creations and the solutions that these students provide. In business entrepreneurship too, we're now going from launch to growth strategies. Basically, in this semester, students are tasked to join and work along with a very small business. A business that probably doesn't have any marketing strategies, a business that probably doesn't have any digital presence. And the idea is for our students not only to learn these digital marketing strategies, but to apply them with these small businesses. Hence, for example, they would take and create their mission and vision for the company, for the business, small business. They would take and create, for example, social media platforms, a blog, social media channels. They would help the business to boost or to create an audience for them. At the end of the project, the final project, it's very interesting because these entrepreneurs or these business owners are very much thankful to these students for creating a sort of buzz about their business, for creating more awareness about their business. Of course, they're handed over their social media platforms and they are the ones to keep it up. In Business Entrepreneurship 3, we're talking about financing and profitability. In this course, students are exposed to all funding opportunities, whether it is funding it yourself from your savings, your pocket, getting into a loan, knowing all the different requirements and knowing the different advantages and disadvantages. They also look at crowdfunding, venture capital, etc. So all these funding opportunities are given to them along with the advantages and disadvantages. We also focus in this semester to expose them to the entrepreneurial ecosystem in Belize, whereby they learn a lot more about Beltrade, SBDC, Chamber of Commerce, regulations, and I even get guest speakers to talk to them about intellectual property services to protect their creations. So in this semester, it's super important because it's gearing towards the end and they get more prepared to go out and try to venture. In small business management, which is taken along with BE3, this is their last semester as well. They get to take all the concepts, all the skills that they learned, and now will put it into action into the creation of a business plan. For small business management, they get to create a small business, which is also showcased to the public in their second year. As second years, they get to present their booths, their ideas, their project to the public as well. Here, for example, that's in that semester is where the students will take everything and put it into one, whether it's the marketing plan, the operations, financial, and put it together and create their small business. Other courses, of course, are very important and helpful towards the entire CEMJC profile of the BE student. For example, principles of marketing, principles of finance, principles of accounting 1 and 2, microeconomics, macroeconomics, business ethics, among others. So as I said, this very much is the rundown of the program with a clear emphasis on entrepreneurship. Next then, we will talk a little bit about the importance and benefits of entrepreneurship education. As you can see on your right, there's two pictures. The one at the top is our participation at the Entrecon Convention of 2019, as last year we didn't have one due to COVID. At the bottom, we can see our students very much excited to have met Sean Quillen, one of Belize's very successful entrepreneurs, taking the Belize name and the Belizean cuisine to another level worldwide. What are some important reasons of why we should have entrepreneurship education? Well, the first one, the majority of new jobs are created by entrepreneurs and small businesses. Over the last decade, small high-growth companies have accounted greatly to economic growth. Entrepreneurship drives economic competitiveness at the local, national, and global levels. Entrepreneurship has a unique position in the new economy, and entrepreneurship accounts for at least 2/3 of all technological innovation. All of these pointers talk about entrepreneurship in the sense of not only being a driver of the economy because of job creation, but also that it makes us more competitive. Entrepreneurs have to work on keeping that quality, that superiority in the products that they're developing. We're talking about small businesses bringing up their game, adapting as our theme for this winter conference, united in adversity and embracing change. Entrepreneurs are some of the biggest group of people that have had to face adversity, and they are definitely showing how they are overcoming this, right? And in terms of the new economy, we're talking about the creation of new markets. We're talking about the birth of new businesses. We're talking about the integration of technology and how these have helped us to take a better control and to actually also survive in the times that we're going through. Next, some of my favorite benefits of entrepreneurship are the following. For me, one of the most significant is that entrepreneurship gives you more opportunity to exercise creative freedoms Again, we see Shanquilin there, one of my favorite entrepreneurs, because not only does this man get to put Belize's name out there, but he also is one of the brand ambassadors. With his food creations, he is able to travel from north to south and to take Belizean cuisine and just put it out there. He doesn't imitate other cultures. He sticks to our culture and promotes through his catering service. The next thing about creative freedoms, his opportunity to travel. He has been able to travel to Taiwan, to Miami, participate in competitions, and simply put his love for cooking out there. And also, it gives him that freedom. He can go to Plasencia, to San Pedro, because he has his mobile unit, which he uses to either meet your catering needs for a conference, a wedding, or any private event. Higher self-esteem. Definitely. Any entrepreneur has a sense of higher self-esteem because they are recognized for contributing something to their community, for bringing about a solution, a creation. Another benefit is the greater sense of control over your life and future. You get to pick your working schedule. You get to pick what you like to do, and especially if it's something you enjoy doing. If your passion is about doing makeup, for example, you're a makeup artist. If your passion is about baking cakes, if your passion is about catering, anything that suits you, you have the control. You put what times you want to work, you put your own goals, how far you want to reach, if you want to diversify, etc. Entrepreneurship education activities are a real life vehicle for developing academic skills. I've always believed that entrepreneurship should be started at a younger level, definitely, something that can be implemented even at a primary level. Students can be guided through different activities like budgeting, like selling, negotiating, and these activities will definitely develop their academic skills. Entrepreneurs are found in every occupation and career. I myself am an educator, but I'm also a sidepreneur. So every business opportunity that I get, I will take action. And overall, I think that this sums up the importance of entrepreneurship education. Thinking entrepreneurially, acting upon an opportunity, and creating a business. So with that said, I just wanted to emphasize that entrepreneurship is the way forward, in the sense that young people are looking out more and more. Instead of looking out for jobs, they're now creating jobs. Next, we're going to be talking about the second part of my presentation, which is entrepreneurial resilience in times of adversity. In this section, it's going to be a little bit more informative in terms of what businesses have had to endure, especially due to the pandemic. We are going to start off by presenting highlights of a report on a rapid private sector economic impact assessment that was done by Beltrade. We're then going to talk a little bit about adaptive responses to adversity. How did these entrepreneurs respond to the difficult times? Followed by some examples of entrepreneurial action and community response. So as we know, entrepreneurs are very resilient people. They're very persistent, they're risk takers, and a lot of them did manage or are still continuing to adapt to the times that we are facing. I must continue, but first I want to give credit to Ms. Monique Osher, the manager of Small Business Development Center Belize, for facilitating the survey report summary that we are about to discuss. This report was made due to the fact that Beltrade wanted to find out what were the different impacts that were suffered by these entrepreneurs, especially in terms of business impact, employment impact, adaptation measures, etc. The following is the executive summary. It basically highlights everything about the report, and then I will be showcasing the important charts that I want you to see that show us the breakdown of this report. Since April 22nd, 2020, Beltrade developed a plan to conduct a rapid private sector economic impact assessment through a COVID-19 business impact survey. The survey was shared to Beltrade's clients and on social media, obtaining 158 respondents within just 2 weeks. Respondents entailed a wide cross-section of industries with a majority in tourism and agriculture. Respondents also varied by size, with micro-enterprises being the majority of 54%. The report analyzes results under key technical areas, including on export, investment, and training. Under business impact, 35.4% report being temporarily out of business, while 12.7% closed down. Since January 2020, 87.3% report losses at varying amounts, with only 12.7% reporting no losses. Only 10.8% report being able to sustain operations over 6 months if conditions continue. A total of 1,728 jobs were lost, with employment declining 23% after the pandemic hit Belize. Be mindful that this does not represent all the employment labor force. It is only representative of the respondents that answered the survey. Several business adaptation measures are also reported, including temporary reductions in staff working hours, increased use of technology, reducing production, and production diversification. Private sector recommendations are also provided for economic support, with the majority seeking financial support for employment retention, followed by tax relief and incentives. The report concludes with government and Beltrade service satisfaction ratings. So this is the executive summary that highlights the findings. Now here, I want to show you the diagram that shows us the industry breakdown. So keep in mind, we had 158 total private sector respondents, and these respondents were mainly from these industries. So we have at 19% in the blue color, we see the agribusiness and agro-processing, as well as the tourism and leisure, both of these accounting for 19% each, showing us the largest amount of participants. We have food and beverage with a 10%, creative industry with an 8%, fisheries and aquaculture with a 7%, light manufacturing with 6%, real estate and construction, consulting, offshore outsourcing, and other. In terms of other, we can see all the different businesses areas or the industries here broken down. Beauty products, education, aviation, cleaning services, logistics, sustainable energy, auto mechanics, IT, pharmacies, securities, and others. So this is the entire picture of the industry breakdown according to the respondents. Next, super important to know in Belize, the business size classification. What is considered a micro business? What is a small sized, a medium sized, or a large business? To our right, we can see how those classifications are made, starting off with the micro business, which hires less than 5 employees. They have less than $100,000 Belize in annual sales, less than $50,000 Belize in investment. A small size business is considered if they have between 5 to 19 employees, less than $500,000 in annual sales, less than $150,000 in investment. Medium-sized businesses, 20 to 50 employees, less than 1.5 million in annual sales, and less than $500,000 in investment. Large-scale businesses are those that have 50 plus employees. They are making over 1.5 million in annual sales and over $500,000 in investment. If we look at the chart then here, we will notice that Belize is made up mostly of micro enterprises and small-sized businesses, accounting for 54% micro businesses, 17% small businesses, 12% medium-sized, and 17% large-scale businesses. This next diagram just shows us the industry and business classification, the breakdown by industry and size. So in each industry, the category of business is small, micro, small, medium, and large. Next and most important, I want to discuss with you their findings regarding COVID-19 impact. One of the first questions that was asked to the respondents was, what has been the status of your business operations since March 2020, which is when the first case of COVID was discovered here in Belize? From the 158 respondents, 71 cited that they are operating with limitations, 56 cited being temporarily out of business, 20 cited being closed, and 11 cited operating as normal. So we can see in this chart here that a big amount of respondents had to close out their business temporarily. Here in the yellow, we can see that quite a big percentage, 44.9%, did manage to continue operating, but with limitations. We know that as of March 2020, we experienced lockdowns, we experienced curfews, and a lot of protocols to safeguard the population. Therefore, the majority of these businesses were able to keep on operating, but with certain limitations. Then we have 12.7% that were completely closed, and then we have 7% which operate as normal. To the right here, we can see that the respondents can also be broken down by business size. Large and medium enterprises predominantly report operating with limitations. Micro and small enterprises also demonstrate being temporarily out of business while also operating with limitations. So this just breaks it farther down, not only with the business status, but with also the business size classification. Under this business impact analysis, we also see that the agribusiness and agro-processing ventures are predominantly operating with limitations, while tourism and leisure are the ventures in contrast that cite being temporarily out of business given the closures. So as the airport closed, as travel stopped, we saw a big shift in terms of the tourism industry. Agribusiness and agro-processing, anything in terms of food, anything in terms of processing, considered essential, were still able to operate, but with certain limitations. There is a list of industries that did not report any business closure, and that is this list that we can see here: consulting, offshore outsourcing, aviation, logistics, sustainable energy, auto mechanics, IT, pharmacies and chemical sales, security services, and others. Given the current situation under COVID, there definitely were losses. So another key question that was asked to the respondents were, what are your estimated losses since January 2020 based on the range below? So they were given ranges and the respondents answered to the question. 62 cited less than $25,000 Belize in losses. Then we have 35 cited between $25,001 to $100,000 Belize in losses. 22 cite 100,001 between 100,001 and $500,000 Belize in losses, and 19 cite over $500,000 Belize in losses, with 20 citing none. So in this pie chart, you can see the breakdown in ranges and percentages. So the percentage of losses. As we all know, the pandemic, nobody was really prepared for. So these businesses saw quite a number of losses, especially in terms of financial loss. The respondents can also be broken down by business size. 52% of large enterprises report losses greater than $500,000 on one. At the micro level, 67% report losses less than $25,000 Belize. Each size segment report various amounts in losses. So as we can see from the two charts there, it is a varying degree of loss. Everybody experienced loss at different levels. Obviously, the large seem to have loss greater than in terms of maybe investment, etc. So that is the report summary there in terms of business impact. Another key area is the employment impact. We know for a fact that many jobs were lost. So this gives us a brief snapshot of what happened. The question that was asked to the respondents was, how many employees did you have prior to COVID-19 and how many employees do you currently have? From the table that we can see below, it is a summary of the key employment impact findings. We notice there the indicator total employment pre-COVID, then total current employment. They did the subtraction and this is the total employment loss that was reported. Again, bearing in mind that this is mostly regarding the tourism and the agro-processing agriculture industries, and then the ones that were mentioned in the breakdown. This total number of lost jobs is equivalent to a 23% employment loss in terms of percentage. Also, the 158 companies that reported employment can also be broken down by business size. So who lost the most? In this question, micro enterprises experienced the highest employment loss percentage, falling by 61.7%, followed by small enterprises, which fell by 37.1%, medium-sized businesses by 25.3%, and large enterprises reported the least decline in aggregated employment loss, falling by 17.5%. So here we can see the numbers pre-COVID, current employment, and the employment loss percentage. And in this chart, we see the blue colors representing pre-COVID, and then the red colors representing current employment. If you look at the different bars, you will realize that the ones that suffered the most impact was the micro-sized businesses. And the large scale was affected, but by the least percentage in terms of employment loss. We know that these big corporates or these big businesses like Digicel, Bowen & Bowen, they never ceased operations and they managed to keep their employees. Adaptation measures. What are some of the things that these businesses had to take or consider to maintain operations under the current situation with COVID-19? So here we can see the breakdown. The majority of the respondents mentioned that one of the first things to adapt was to temporarily reduce staff working hours. Definitely, 70 out of the 143 that responded, they provided 234 responses, and 70 temporarily reduced staff working hours, working shifts, rotations, a decrease in the number of hours per employee. 57 increased the use and integration of technology. We see more and more that this has become a trend in Belize, whereby businesses have got to adapt and start using and integrating technology to be able to continue their businesses. 51 reduced production levels. Even some of the companies at a different level, medium-sized, were able to adapt by reducing production. By the sales decline, they simply had to reduce the number of products produced. And then here we have diversification. 12% of the businesses decided to diversify their production. And then we have a 12% for other. Under other, we have a whole listing of adaptation measures. Everybody had different approaches. Some people decided to work from home. Some people decided to create free products for frontline workers. Some simply had to lay off staff so that they could reduce their cost of production, temporary suspension of production, relocating. Some people that were renting had to literally leave those places and start to find how to maintain operations from home. Building private sector and government linkages for projects, and many also cite no current adaptation measures. Some businesses simply closed and they were just waiting and monitoring the situation as the year went by. Finally, under the report, we have a couple of recommendations that were observed. From the list below, respondents were asked to choose the top 3 areas of economic support that the enterprise or organization would be seeking from the government of Belize. And of that, the main respondents, the majority, chose or responded that they want to seek financial support for employment retention. 76 seek tax relief, 68 respondents seek tax and investment incentives, 62 seek advocacy for debt and utility relief, 49 seek government purchasing from local enterprises, and 32 seek foreign exchange availability. The other 25 seek other areas of economic support. And again, we see a big list here with access to financial capital being one of the main. You have export-import permitting, local sales support, supplies control restrictions. There are many things that people were seeking, especially with closed borders. People were looking for the continuous raw material imports, because if they don't get their main inputs, they cannot continue production. The lowering of utility and energy costs, reduction or waivers of government fees, fast-tracking investment incentives, foreign banking and transfer facilitation. Very important. We ended up with a situation that business people were limited in their credit card use. So even that became a problem, because it's more difficult to facilitate payments when you are being limited by your credit card limits, right? So we see that there was a lot of recommendations that were given. The government did provide a relief program. It was called the MSME, which was a support program for businesses. You simply had to fill out an application, qualify based on the criteria. If you were a micro or small, you would be able to get $2,500 grants for employee retention. At the different levels, medium-sized and large-sized businesses, they were offered soft loans, basically at very low interest rates for them to keep on working on their businesses. After hearing all the things that these businesses went through, economic loss, business impacts, employment, what have been some of the adaptive responses to adversity? You know, many times people go through a tough situation and they give up, but not our entrepreneurs. It appears that resilience rather than dysfunction may be the most common response to adverse effects. I personally believe that resilience brings about entrepreneurial action. And the more entrepreneurial action you take, the more resilient you become. So these work hand in hand. Then to the right, we see some entrepreneurial strategic decisions that had to be made. You either had to adapt, diversify, pivot, close down, or give birth to new businesses. And that is what I will share with you now in some of the most interesting entrepreneurial activities that I saw that took place and the community response. We see here to the left a platform called the Orange Walk Entrepreneurs. It is one of the, I live in Orange Walk, my hometown, and this was a really great idea as it became a platform for entrepreneurs to join, to share their ideas, to promote partnerships, to basically promote their products. I was amazed at the number of people that joined this platform and how helpful they have been to each other. Here we have another social media channel, which is the Belize Entrepreneur Spotlight. And one of the businesses that captured my attention that came about as a result of the pandemic was the creation of a grocery purchasing app. It is called the Grocery Nest. We can see the logo here. And this app is totally free to download through the App Store or Google Play. Not only did they change the way that we go about buying groceries, but they have also taken it up a notch at a different level. If you live abroad and you have family at home in Belize and wish to purchase groceries for them, you can go ahead and do it from the Grocery Nest app and with convenient methods of payment. They have the Cash App, the PayPal, and even Venmo. So this just goes to show us that Belizeans are quite innovative. Mr. Dawson himself has been a software developer for many years, and this is proof that we can become quite entrepreneurial, especially in terms of adversity. Not everything is profit. Here we can observe Mr. Alamia. He was one of the first ones to start making handmade face shields. And the first bunch of face shields that he made, he actually donated it to frontline workers, especially the police officers. And a well-established business, if you're from Belize, you will know the Travelers Liquors Limited Company is a well-established company. But due to sales declining because of the pandemic, they sat together with their team and they still wanted to keep their employees. So they designed and gave birth to a new product, the new product known as Sunnybell. Sunnybell is a Belizean-made hand sanitizer. They followed the World Health Organization guidelines and created this product. This product was quite accepted into the community, into the country, and we can now even see flyers of distribution everywhere in Belize, and even a small village here in Ernjock, which is known as Yokri. So Sunnybell has expanded their market and they're distributing all over the country. We also see here travelers joining with two, we can call them technology-based businesses. We have the Belize On, and we also have Vistro, whereby we see more integration of businesses collaborating together to be able to keep on sustaining their business. So you can get your liquor delivered to your home through these two delivery services businesses. Online workouts. We know that here in Belize, it wasn't until this Monday that gyms were allowed to open for the first time after quite a while. However, that did not stop trainers that decided to give their services online. We saw the birth of a lot of online coaches, Crisel Castillo being a good example, whereby she gives you a meal plan, she gives you the online workout videos and follows with you and is there with you in terms of communication so you can meet your goals. Due to time, I will just quickly end up with these ones. We have Quick, which is the delivery errand service. They started in Ernjock with motorcycles running errands delivery, and they work through WhatsApp. But now their business has expanded, and now they're even offering courier services to Corozal, Belize City, and Belmopan. One of the youngest entrepreneurs that I saw that through this pandemic, he's actually a student from our sister institution, Escuela Secundaria Técnica Mexico. And given this experience of online learning, he noticed that he had a need for a phone holder for his classes via Zoom or via Google Meets, etc. And he decided to design a phone holder for his scholastic needs. So not only students, but teachers, business people that are now all relying on virtual modes of making money, making education for everything. And he made this product available for a small fee of $20. And last but not least, one of my other favorite business opportunities. This is a father and son at the Mayan Center village that decided to research and decided to invest in raising butterflies. Not only did they create a butterfly farm that is now available for visits to locals and tourists, but they also discovered that there's a market for the pupas. So they are now willing to train people to raise pupas so that they can export them. How amazing is that? It just goes to show us that there's definitely new business industries, and there's also lots more opportunities that we can get regardless of the pandemic and what we are facing. So overall, I think entrepreneurs are managing to survive. They're being very resilient. They're adapting, and definitely the creation of new markets, the creation of new opportunities is right there. And these are vivid examples of our Belizean people and what they have been doing. In the last part of my presentation, I want to talk about nurturing the entrepreneurial spirit. What best than to give you an example from one of our very own students. I want you to listen to her testimonial. Meet Eileen Sosa. She's our very own CEMJC graduate from the class of 2020. As she explains her entrepreneurial experience and skills learned at CEMJC that have helped her through her journey. Miss Melissa, could you share her video, please?
Sure, I'll be doing that right now.
Hello, my name is Eileen Sosa. I'm 19 years and I'm born and raised in my beautiful country, Belize. I'm a recent graduate of CEMJC, class of 2020, where I attended the course of Entrepreneurship. I have two businesses. My first business is my makeup business, where I do makeup on myself and on others. Also, I have my Facebook Live sale, where I sell mostly clothing, and that's been the trend right now in Belize. So those are my two businesses I have. So both of them I have income coming in, which is really cool. Being an entrepreneur, you should never just stick to one business. You should always have income coming in from many places, and in my case I have two. While my time at CEMJC, I learned many things there. While in the course of Entrepreneur, I was able to learn a lot of things to help my business grow and help my business stay in the topic or in the trend of nowadays. I can go on and on talking about all the things I learned at CEMJC, but for today and this little video, I'll be mostly talking about the business plan and the marketing strategies I use in my business. Simple things as opening up a business page to more larger stuff such as business plans I've been applying into my business. For example, the business plan, I wrote my business plan way before I even graduated CEMJC, so opening up my little beauty salon has always been in the works. I made my business plan already. I'm just waiting for the pandemic to kind of slow down and the regulations and rules and the pandemic to maybe even stop so that I can open my beauty salon. Unfortunately, because of this pandemic, I don't have as much clients that I used to have because my main focus was the people who went to parties and people who would go clubbing. That's where my clients would come in the most. Marketing strategies such as making flyers. I've done many flyers for my business, especially my makeup, which is my passion. I've done business cards as well for my makeup business. And in my Facebook Lives, I've done things such as bundlings or sales. For example, in the next live, I'll be having 50% off on all these items, or a bundle deal like you can get these 3 blouses for $15, or simple things such as that I've applied into my business. What motivated me most into continuing both of my business is that I am my own boss and I have the freedom of doing what I want when I want. In this makeup business, whenever I have an appointment, I would wake up and do it, so I don't have a 8 to 5 job. Also, in the Facebook Live videos, I just do my lives at a certain time, so maybe for 3 hours from 7 to 10. And then after that, I will take a few hours into sending everyone their bills. And after that, the next day, people just come and pick up their orders. I don't have to be hassling and knowing that I have to wake up because I have to go to work. None of that. I just know people would come and pick up their items, or if I happen to do delivery, I would do that. But I don't have to work 5 days a week, 6 days a week, or the entire week. I can just work for 2 days doing my Facebook Live, and I make more than someone would make in a month. And that's how well my business is going, especially my Facebook Lives. That's where most of my income comes. So yes, my main focus is my makeup business, but unfortunately because of the pandemic, my business had to kind of slow down. I still get clients, but not as much as I did before, when clubs would be opening and people would have weddings and parties. So yes, that's why it's very good to not only stick to one business, always just have more than one business and have more than one area of income. So in this case, I have two. And whatever else job I do, sometimes even tutoring, I would get money from. Just I do everything, and to be honest, I rather that than work in an office. Maybe you'll see me working in an office one day, but for now, being this young and this is my passion, this is what I will be sticking to for now on. My experience while being an entrepreneur, honestly, truthfully, It's been the best thing ever in being an entrepreneur. I'm my own boss and I have the freedom of doing whatever I want whenever I want. Being an entrepreneur, I don't have to have an 8 to 5 job. So my little schedule is not set. Whenever I have an appointment, which it could be either 6 o'clock in the morning or 6 p.m. at night, I would, wake up or just get ready before the time. And that's the thing that I love the most, that I have freedom to sleep late. I have no one ever told me that they don't like my makeup or anything. And also in my Facebook live, I had no one ever tell me that they don't like the things I sell. So for me right now, my business has been going good, which is really good, because in any business sometimes there will be a little failure, which just makes us stronger. That's one of the things that we are also taught, is that we should maintain a good reputation with our customers and have really good customer satisfaction and hear our customer as well, because a lot of times our biggest critics is our customers, and we should use those critics into something good. And that's one of the things that also people need to consider, that sometimes that the things that people tell you isn't really things to hurt your business, only to make it better. Some advice that I would give to my young entrepreneurs, actually not even young entrepreneurs, entrepreneurs in a whole, is just follow your dream. Whatever is your passion, go for it. Mine is makeup and selling, so that's what I'm doing now. I won't let anyone stop me from doing what I want and reach my potential that I have. No one will, keep me back. And obviously I will not stay here. It's always good to grow your business, expand. And in my case, again, I want to do my own little place, my own little beauty salon, where I not only have my makeup area, where I can have an area for hair, an area for nails, and a photo shoot, having my little boutique or whatever. I want to have it all, and it only comes to time. Don't rush things. So that's one of the things I have as an advice, is to follow your dreams and do what makes you happy. You can always just find me in any social media. On Instagram, I have 3 Instagram pages actually. I have Eileen K. Sosa, Aylin Ksosa. I have Makeup by Eileen Sosa, and I have Beauty Academy. Also, I have my YouTube channel. You can always find me Eileen Sosa, where I post my vlogs. I also post makeup videos and challenges. I also have my Facebook Live, where you can find me at Eileen Sosa Lives. TikTok, Eileen K. Sosa. Thank you so much for listening to me. I hope I didn't bore you, and I hope you all have a wonderful day, night, whatever time you're seeing this. Goodbye. Hello.
Okay, Miss
Okay.
Iris.
Okay, so thank you very much, Miss Melissa there. So as we saw, I'm very proud. She is one of my best students, and the pandemic didn't slow her. On the contrary, she kept on going. She has loved to do makeup, and she has now transformed that into her business along with her live sales. So very proud moment there for us at CEMJC to see her actually into action. And I want to close off with the way forward. Basically, trying to change the slide. Okay, here we are. Just to wrap it up, the way I see things going and what I envision to continue fostering entrepreneurial development, one of the first things is that my vision is to start a revolving fund program for our students, alumni, to obtain seed capital to fund authentic small projects. It would be a dream to see that Centro actually creates this program and that our alumni have access to small amounts of seed capital, of which they can generate income and then repay those loans at very, very low interest rates. Another of my visions is that I wish there was more training capacity opportunities for educators in entrepreneurship education. I myself have taken several online courses, and if there's more opportunities, I would be more than willing to go and obtain them. To integrate entrepreneurship courses in the curriculum, starting at the secondary level. I believe that entrepreneurship is a life learning process from primary all the way to adulthood. So there's definitely more reasons to adapt it into the curriculum. Something like teaching students to budget, like teaching students to negotiate, to become more creative. Those things can be started at a very, very early stage. And these definitely would help these students to become even better as they progress along. And the last one is to seek funding opportunities to start an innovative development center in the north of the country. As we all know, yes, we have access to some of the agencies that I have mentioned before, like SBDC, Beltrade, and Chamber of Commerce, but mostly these agencies are centralized, leaving us in the north a bit abandoned. So we would want to see something done here, unique, different, at the north part of the country, Corozal or Injuak. So now I know we have limited time, but I'm willing to answer your questions. Thank you very much for staying here with us. And if you have any questions, let me know.
Yes, okay. So now, to those present here today, you have any questions for Miss Iris? I'm sure you got a lot of information out of what business entrepreneurship is, how some persons have managed to overcome all of this COVID situation and still have their business up and running, right? Any questions? You can ask them now or you can write it on the chat.
Comments or feedback?
Hi, I would like to say to comment on your presentation. Well, my name is Ms. Hema Gomez, and I teach at Sacred Heart Junior College. I am a business lecturer, and I listened to your presentation, and I was actually in and out because of technical difficulties. And then when I wanted to join again, I end up joining another session, but I just your one captured my attention because I'm a business lecturer too, and I do the same as you are doing. So I'm just, you always want to learn from others because we never stop growing into this field of business. And I applaud you for what you're doing, and I really like the idea that the student was able to present her experience. Here at Sacred Heart Junior College, we do a lot of marketing, and what I have done with my students is to expose them to the real world out there, and we have done a lot of marketing campaign joined together with advertising and public relation campaign, where we do have these two courses merging together. And we have, since 2015 that I have been teaching at Sacred Heart Junior College, I have been doing this. But due to the pandemic, we are locked now on these, hands-on activities to give the opportunity to our students to, prove themselves and to also explore more about the real world. But, it's never, I always tell them that there is always a solution to a problem. So we need to find the opportunity to do it virtually. And that is how we need to move forward. Just like how in education, now we change and we shift the system to do it fully online. Businesses have to move and adopt the new system of doing it online as well. So we see a lot of live going, on different social media platforms, and it's a bit saturated, but the best one will survive. So you have to have your competitive advantage here. Be unique and overcome the competition. And that's what I emphasize a lot. And I do have a lot of students. Currently, I will be teaching, I teach marketing every semester. And advertising and public relation, along with consumer behavior, are two other courses that are follow-up courses of marketing. So advertising, unfortunately, we cannot do the campaign as we used to do, but we also used to do it with social responsiveness, because we work along with our community and we do these advertising campaign for our businesses in our community that need help on how to create a banner and advertise their business, how to create logos, flyers, business card, and we would do it for them. And we use different softwares, and we do a lot of workshop in the class to allow students to learn. And I have taken some few courses that I have had the initiative to learn on my own, and then I pass that on to my students, which we never stop learning in this business and in the field of this profession either. So we learn every time, and the more we learn, the more we can pass on to our students. But this semester with marketing, I want to do something similar, and I have planned to do something similar in my activities where I am giving the students the opportunity to do their marketing virtually. Don't stop them from do what they should be doing so that they can build their mind into becoming entrepreneurs someday. And to provide that finance, as you were saying, your vision, go for it. And I applaud you by having something like that. And once you have the support, definitely it can be done. Very nice presentation, very well said, and really enjoyed it. And for those who can relate, we'll definitely, pass on the word and we can work together. Who knows? Maybe if you share your information, I could share what I have done and what you're doing, and we share those ideas and we can incorporate it someday with our students. We
Definitely,
do also.
I believe it's collaboration is super important. So I'm here to work with anybody, and definitely entrepreneurship always will bring about something new for us to learn. Sure.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Games. Our time is up for the question and answer. I think this link is going to be used as well for the standing committees. So thank you very much, Ms. Iris, for your time. I'm sure that the other teachers interested in the program can maybe get in contact with her afterwards. So thank you once again. And now if you plan on staying on this standing committee, you can remain here, or you can go to the COBEC, the website, and then access the other links for the standing committees. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you too, Miss Melissa. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.